The Tuesday, February 10th, 2026 Eidelweiss Board of Commissioners meeting. It's 9 a.m. and we'll call the meeting to order, and the first thing we do is approve the agenda. Do we have the minutes of, let's see, the 3rd?
February 3rd.
Do we have a meeting on the 5th? I think I did minutes for that. I think they were sent to us too.
I
So
didn't
it's
see
like ones
anything.
For the 3rd.
So we'll do the 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
I emailed the 5th. So I think we even got sent out.
You have to approve the agenda.
And water manifest, DPW. I think we should have a non-public session at the end of this meeting.
Okay.
Citing,
Reputation is 1, and employee-related issues 2.
It'll depend on timing.
And maybe contract negotiation 3.
Might depend on timing. I have to be out of here by 11.
okay.
Is there a time later in the day that you could convene for our non-public?
Yeah, probably.
We'll see how this
We'll
goes.
see
then.
how it goes.
Yeah.
Right.
I prefer to wrap this up this morning, but let's see how it goes.
With that modification to the agenda, how do you vote?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0.
Okay.
Approval of the minutes of the 3rd. I'll make a motion to discuss and approve the minutes of the 3rd.
Second.
I do have the resumed board meeting at the 5th minutes, but I guess we'll do that next week if you guys don't have it.
No.
I think it came in the email with everything else. All right, so approve. Did I make a motion to approve and discuss the
Yep,
operation and
Nancy
payroll?
second.
Nope. We're doing the minutes.
Doing the minutes now, February 3rd.
Yep.
Okay, so
I just have one comment.
I have a couple, I think. Go ahead, Woody.
Yep.
Okay, very simple, Jennifer. On second page, under Ian Hayes' water report, the very last bullet,
Mhm.
last sentence, it says 2 of the cell phones, cell is 2 L's, not 1.
Oh, getcha.
Okay, that's it. That's all I got.
I'll ask you if this clarification is something you think should be in there. Under section 4, DPW report, the first bullet, last week work on burning off the ice and snow off. There's 2 offs in that, but I'm suggesting you consider adding parentheses with rock salt, because I question exactly
Yes.
what was meant by burning.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea, yep.
Okay.
So the discussion last
That's
week,
just clarification on what the
burning
conversation
may not
was
be
about.
always be the best word to use.
Yeah, right. You had talked about that too.
Then down under section 6, the water discussion, the second bullet says, must allow at least 2 weeks span of time to install a new pump at DPW 1.
Mm.
I think worst case planning should allot 2 weeks. It could take 2 days. I just want,
Yeah, I think we said a realistic was 7 days, but the 2 weeks
I
was
just like
for
to, I'm
worst case
suggesting the
scenario.
words worst case.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Then the next bullet, see if this needs just a little clarification. The proposed DPWB well will not be supplied by a new water source. It will be a new well source only. I think it may be clearer if we said it will be in the same well field, drawing from the same source. It's a
Uh-huh.
backup well.
Yep.
If you're okay with that
Yeah,
word.
Yep.
yeah, that makes sense.
Just so that people reading this that are going to be spending money on this get a little clearer idea. We know what the words mean, but then the last bullet in that section, cell phones is spelled with 2 L's.
Yeah.
You said that already.
Yep.
Oh, you did that.
Got that
right?
one, yep.
Then public appearances number 7, where Ron Flip and Richard Shore came.
Oh, yes.
I'd like to add the sentence at the end of that. The next step is for Ron Briggs to bring drawings to the board for discussion, because that's the key part.
Right.
What
Yes.
Ron Flip was saying, he asked a question like, do we have to come back here? And the communication was rough because I was saying they didn't have to come back to the board, but Ron Briggs has to come to this
Yes.
board.
Right.
And I think the minutes need to say that.
Sure.
Yes.
And that's my recommendations.
I didn't have anything.
All in favor of the minutes as modified?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0.
Mhm.
So now at 9:07, we'll move to manifests. I'll make a motion that we discuss and approve an operations and payroll manifest of $13,893.81.
Second.
Discussion. We had repair bills of the trucks for $3,119.14 with Albany Service Center. We bought 400 and change in AmeriGas heating for general government and split between water. Chappelle tractor sales. We bought a $68. I looked at that invoice. It seems to have been a part for the grader.
Yeah, I might send it back. We got these, they call them spiders. They're like a ring, almost like a bungee that goes on the chains for the tires. It kind of binds them in and holds them. And they call them chain tensioners is what this one is for the grader. So I was thinking of maybe using it, but I'm not sure yet. So he said he had one. He dropped it off. I was going to try putting it on and see if I liked it or not. But I'm not sure yet. So, I got it for one set of tires.
Mhm.
But that's what that is.
We're paying the Conway Daily Sun for writing ads for the election period, announcing meetings and elections. Crest Auto World is getting $1,217.11 for truck repairs. So between Albany Service getting $3,100 and Crest getting $1,200, there's $4,300 just this manifest for truck repairs. I think we should try to replace some of these trucks.
I think that's a good plan.
Yes.
Easton Fuel, we bought. It says Easton Fuel, Easton Minerals are the next two vendors on the list. And Easton Fuel says we bought rock salt from them. We probably bought diesel fuel for them.
And
It
this-
says diesel
Where?
fuel, but
Right,
Where
and-
does it
in the
say rock
description it
salt?
says highway roads rock salt.
Yeah.
As if it's being
and the
charged.
numbers
Oh,
are wrong.
gotcha.
It's being charged the wrong account.
There's two charges here which are identical, which is only the rock salt,
Yes,
3,982. So what should be in that figure of
Yep.
diesel fuel
Yeah.
should be 176.4 times
I have the invoice.
3.6. Yeah, I know you do.
But we're gonna approve a total that
205.
needs to be adjusted if
Yes,
that's on
correct.
this, right?
Yeah, it's $638.66 for the diesel fuel.
And so what's the new bottom line of this manifest?
Yeah, well, minus 3982.84.
Wow.
So we have to subtract $3,344.18. So the new bottom line is 13,893.81 minus 3,344.18 be $10,549.63.
So you dropped it by the duplication of the rock salt invoice. Did you add the Eastern Fuel invoice back in?
Yes, we
Okay.
did.
Very good. So later I'm gonna go over the numbers of how much we pay per ton for rock salt and how much we pay per ton for gravel as part of my commissions, or maybe even for
Gravel?
PPW.
Okay.
We're paying Eversource an electric bill for $84, $87.
$78.78.
Here I'm getting reimbursed for a license for office.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want to point out is, during the budget meeting, you two did excellent jobs at presenting, I have to say, by the way. I was going to write to you, but I
Thank you.
decided to say it during this meeting. Thank you very much. I think the village appreciates the way you represented everything to them and answered questions. If you remember, you pointed out that 80-20 split when we split between
Mm-hmm.
It's not
General-
80-20.
general government. Well, and I said, I think it's 85-15. Then we went down through the budget and I saw the legal line.
It's
The split,
50%.
it's,
Isn't it 50-50?
no.
No?
That's where I noticed that of a $10,000 legal line, $8,000 is being charged to general government and $2,000 is being charged to water. That's an 80-20. That's why I came back and said, well, I'm looking at this and I think you may have been right that it's 80-20. Now I'm looking at the split for my reimbursement for my office license.
Mhm.
It's 85-15.
Right.
Then in other places where it kind of makes sense that the split isn't 85-15 or 80-20. In one case, I think it's 50-50. I can't remember which line item that is. So,
But legal expenses are not all of them are water. Some of them are just operational expenses.
so in
Most
that-
of them were.
So in the case where the legal issue is clearly in regards to the water system,
Correct.
we know that that bill needs to be charged to the water account. So it's not really a split.
Right.
No,
Right.
It's
legal's not a
assignment.
split, nor is, we know audit is 50-50.
Yep.
So when it's an expense that's not clearly delineated as pertaining to the water, such as internet services,
Mm-hmm.
we're agreeing that it's an 85-15 split. It has been for many years. I didn't know if a board changed it and I just didn't catch that previous to us.
I got no problem with 85-15, but
All right.
there's a bunch of normal items, like isn't all our stipends, that's split 85-15?
I think so, yes.
Jennifer, your
That
time
is
is
correct.
85-15.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Okay,
So,
thanks for the clarification.
but there are some
You're
items
welcome.
that clearly are not 85-15, so
Yes.
maybe in a future budget meeting, we can highlight the non-85-15s, just so we know.
We pay Mount Washington Fabrication, the welding company, $22. We bought $161 and then a $109 invoice to Napa for supplies, including our favorite liquid, Blue Def. We had the fire extinguishers inspected
Yep.
for $228. We paid Verizon $38.45 for the cell phone. And we reimbursed Woodar $11.99 for,
The towel holder in the office.
which everybody seems to like.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
So, the motion needs to be modified to the
Yep.
new number, which is, can you say what the number is?
$10,549.63.
All in favor of that amount?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. One of the things on this sheet that I want to spend a second discussing on this manifest is the FEMA balance of, and this sheet shows $261,816.74. I'm glad that the description has been taken out of this to say that this is the FEMA project for ditching and road services, because there's still several FEMA projects that may be included in this number.
Okay.
Is the advance for the design of the Grissom culvert which is, I think, a little over $41,000. Is that part of this number?
Yes, I believe so.
I mean, according to the nomenclature, it is. It says road and ditch work and Grissom culvert, A&E.
You still have that description on
Well,
there?
Yeah.
well, you know, I highlighted that cell, and it says road and ditch work and Grissom culvert, A&E,
Right.
within that cell.
When I got, they used to have it down in the bottom line here too, the representation of the balance. I just wanna,
It's still there, Mark.
I
Road
might
and ditch
have,
work
I
in
might have
Grissom.
collapsed this to bring the number in closer to the name.
You probably did.
All right, so what I'd like to get at, what I'm getting at is, this is gonna be an important number as we start to get into the construction, specifically the planning part of this. So, would you be in favor of having a breakout of what these numbers are? instead of-
I think detail is good, so if we have a split between the road and ditch work and the Grissom culvert, A&E.
There's another factor, the asphalt road project, 7 roads. That's a separate FEMA project, of which we have sent a paving company $10,000 out of that project money as an advance to lock in the first week in June for them to come in and start doing that project. So that project, we are spending money out of the reimbursement that we got for non-asphalt projects to pay for that project and to do an advance in that project to lock them in to a contract to repair at a certain time. So would you be in favor of breaking, at this time, until we start spending out of that project line,
Right.
the thing that gets me is that we've spent money as an advance out of that project line, but we haven't asked for a reimbursement
Correct.
of that.
Yeah, I don't think we'll put in for the reimbursement
Till the work
until
is
June
done.
when the work's done.
Yeah.
Well, probably July.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is, I would like it so it's easy for you two to follow along on the cash flow that we're doing as we start to spend this year big time on all this stuff. So I'd like it so that you know that this number has the Grissom culvert money at least broken out, separated, so that there's no confusion of how much money's left, because we can't spend that 41,000 on
Right.
anything other than a design of a new Grissom
Grissom.
culvert,
Right.
if that ever happens.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, can't do that, so, yeah.
So maybe we'll start by breaking out the Grissom culvert, and then we'll tweak it as we get into it.
Yeah.
Thank you. So maybe that's a vote. I'll make a motion that we break this FEMA line out on, FEMA balance out on the manifest to, the advance for the Grissom culvert,
Yep.
and then everything else.
Okay.
We'll still keep it lumped together until we get into having to break that down further.
Yep.
But for now, it'll be easy to see what's going on.
Yep.
Second.
All right.
Aye.
3-0 on that, thank you. All right, we're all set with this manifest then? We voted to approve it. We'll move to a water manifest. I'll make a motion that we discuss and approve a water manifest for $10,771.42. Needs a second.
Second.
Discussion. There's only 2 things on this, and the reason it's up to
There's 3
$10,000 is one of them is a payment of a bank loan for a warrant article to borrow money in 2018 that got changed, redefined over time as money was left over. I'm not sure the village should have done it that way, but we did. So we're paying a principal of $6,165.23. We're paying interest on that loan of $2,974.80. So that's just the loan part of this manifest.
Yep.
We're paying for testing of the quality of the water with bacteria. That's $145. That's a regular monthly thing that we do. And we're paying a bill to Eversource for the use of electricity of $1,486.39. Any questions on this manifest?
Nope.
All in favor of approving this manifest, say aye.
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 3-0 on this manifest. At 9:21, we'll move to the DPW report. Good morning, Jeff.
Hello. Well, we're moving right along with everything. Yeah, there's those bills for the repairs on the trucks. The one from Crest was the service that they did on the 18, and then I had Albany Service do a service, the same similar service, well, the filters on the 19, but there was also that transmission sensors and changing of the transmission crankcase oil and stuff on that as well.
So it's running well now?
It is.
Good.
So that's back in action. Saturday we had that event there, a little snow event, and I bared up the pavement in the morning with what came down to get that nice and smooth, and I held off for the afternoon, trying not to run the plows on the gravel roads, but a couple inches kind of fell during a bunch of squalls that kept happening during the day, so I pulled the trigger to clean the roads up at about 3:30. We did have an issue with the 18 Ram where the wing fell off on us, where it mounts to the frame of the truck. So we had to kind of get the backhoe out and get that out of the road, and we were able to do that and get that back to the shop. So that's getting looked at now and repaired over Albany Service. They can get that mounted back on there and get that back in action, hopefully for us tonight. So, like I said, just cost of doing business sometimes in the wintertime with the equipment and things like that, and we're just keeping rolling. I know that I talked with where we get our sand, High Street Sand and Gravel, and we haven't seen a bill for what we've been getting for sand, although we've gotten quite a bit of sand, and that's because he's had some computer issue or something like that, but he's going to be sending a bill out, so he is going to break it up into 2 different payments, so it doesn't look like one real big giant thing.
Is some of it for last year? After December 31st?
It might have been, yeah, if we haven't seen a bill like prior to that, because we were putting some sand out prior to December 31st.
Are we getting into where the DRA doesn't like it?
We're very close. So
Seem
if
to
you can
remember
get it very
mid-February was
Yeah.
drop dead on previous year.
right.
So something should be coming in at some point real soon, he said. So I just wanted to give a heads up because that figure might be a little larger than normal, but it's,
And he's
We-
breaking it out by dates and whatnot?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, so that should be coming in.
okay.
So we don't get slips like we do from the other material vendors.
No,
where
usually
we-
sends an email with the dates on it, when how much they delivered.
So we have those emails of,
I don't think they've come in yet.
No, they have not.
they, have,
No,
so they haven't been sending those because of the computer problems?
Right,
Or-
right, he's had
So we have
some,
nothing.
right, so he just gave me a heads up that some bills will be coming.
Oh, boy.
And he asked me if you
What
want.
we have on our end is what's in your head, or do you have any notes on that?
I have notes on
Good.
that. Yeah,
Very
yeah.
good.
I've got when we've gotten the sand delivered and stuff, so I can match that up.
Great.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, again, just getting prepared and moving right along. The big truck, we're gonna do some more high winging today. We're gonna try to finish up the Big Loop area and Lakeview, Upper Lakeview, and around the summit. We're gonna get that done, and then that'd be the whole district. Give us a little bit more room for the snow that's coming if we're gonna get 7 more inches.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's there's the big truck had to get a new hydraulic tank on
When you
it.
say big truck, what is
The
that?
7400.
International.
Okay,
Yeah. So they Albany Service put a new hydraulic tank on that the other day, and at the same time, the front piston for the wing. I thought, well, it wasn't working, but they had to repack the piston, and everything's got. We didn't need a new piston, but they were able to repack the piston. So there's a little bit of work done on the big truck as well, but that's back in action. And like I said, so we're going to get back out there and highway. So the Napa, there's going to be some hoses and connectors that be changed along the way during all this stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, cost of doing business.
mm-hmm.
Fighting Mother Nature. but that's what I've got.
Just one point, in discussions we had with, when we had DPW meetings, we talked about buying gravel for the projects coming up,
Yeah,
and whether we should look into what Burke Quarry can do for us.
I did see that sheet.
So, comparing this, the highest price, we paid a couple of different prices within 25, 50 cents a ton at Coleman. Sometimes we paid $7.25, including the 50 cents to put it onto our truck per ton. And that number doesn't change. The cost of the gravel on the ground changed, and I couldn't figure out whether it was the amount we were buying at the time, but to some reason that changes by a few cents. So typically we pay $8.50, and obviously Coleman's is not a far distance to
Right.
run a truck down, run it back loaded with gravel. Burke is in Center Conway, off East Conway Road,
Yep.
and they have two different types of gravel. One has a brand name on it, or they both do. But the lower cost one from them is $11.80 a ton versus $8.50 a ton. That's pretty significant.
Very significant.
And the distance to truck
The
it
trucking.
is much further away.
Yeah.
So I'm not making it a priority to ask Burke if they'd like an opportunity to sell a lot of gravel to us. But I can't see how, just the trucking alone,
Yeah.
you can't discount trucking. I guess you could, but
Right.
I'm not hopeful.
I hear you.
You following that?
Yeah.
Then while I was looking at it, so we pay $8.50 a ton for 3/4 inch gravel to go down the roads. We pay $85.80 a ton for rock salt. We don't spread it like we do gravel, but I couldn't help but think. I know in Switzerland they put down the equivalent of stone dust on top of snow. They don't put rock salt down in the mountains to get to their ski areas. They basically just keep building new roads over this.
Right.
And we did that. We put that kind of stone down, and it works really great. You just can't get it easily.
Yeah, that work on gravel roads, you know, because you're putting gravel or, you know, grit on top of the gravel, you know, it's not gonna go too well, I think, on the pavement.
The cost per ton, it's just that you can't probably put it through the spreader too easy.
Yeah.
3/4 inch gravel.
Right.
It's like 10 times more expensive for rock salt.
Jeez.
Anyway, any other questions for?
Not a question, but I'd like to let Jeff know, since you won't be around for my commissioner's report, but this is something you need to know or want to know. Last Thursday, we received a reply back regarding the Granite States Clean Fleet, and it said, "Congratulations! The Village District of Eidelweiss's project proposal has been selected to proceed. You are now considered a selectee." Selectee in italics. This is the first step towards project approval. So we are not approved yet.
No,
Right.
but those
Okay.
are some baby steps in the right direction.
Okay.
It
Right.
sounds of
But
it.
here's the other thing you need to know
Yeah.
is now they want another bunch of documents, but none of them fall within your lane. There may be a little bit later down the road, but
Yeah.
right now most of them is something that the administrator and all the commissioners need to put together. But here's the key that I also wanted you to know was once we get those documents in, which are due 10 days from no later than 10 days from today. They say it takes typically 8 to 10 weeks to get this up to the governors and executive council where they have to approve everything. And until we get approval through the GNC, we cannot spend any funds. So maybe this, if the warrant article, I'm going to assume, passes on March 7th, okay, we're approved to procure that, get the money and purchase the truck, but we can't actually do that if we expect to get reimbursement on this program.
We don't
until the
want to do it
GNC
anyway.
approves it. Yeah.
We don't want to do it until after July 1st, I think. Actually start to spend money on a new truck.
Okay.
We
That-
wouldn't order it that early that it would screw up this.
Right.
If I'm following the story correctly.
Exactly. I think that's the way I'm following it.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah. I do follow what you're saying, yeah. So, just
Yeah.
keep babying that 7,400 for the next several months.
Yeah.
Well, look how much it's costing us per week,
Yeah.
Right.
all of them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's show business.
Okay.
But no, that's good. And if there's anything I could help on any end there with anything, just let me know. If I
Well, I'd
can.
like to continue on with that. This is my concern. You took on the task of pursuing the grant, and you've done a great job. Thanks very much.
I have handouts for all of you.
Therefore, we all went to Ossipee and looked at the 2 trucks that we were interested in. You began the pursuit of the grant. That led you to go to Western Star and look at the Western Star truck
HP
and
Fairfield,
then
yeah.
at
Yeah.
HP Fairfield. I started while you were doing that, to offload you, I started the conversation with the Ram dealership in Keene. Then we hit the point where the Ram dealership in Keene needed to know what you were learning what you wanted out of HP Fairfield. So then we got caught between 2 of us, which started to look to me like we're beginning to have too many cooks, and we have too many points of potential communication failure, where it was HP Fairfield through you to me to the Keene dealership,
Oh,
and I started to not want to be doing that.
yeah.
So, should we modify how we're managing all this so that we don't have too many cooks and we don't have communication failure, but not dump it all on you or on one person? You don't have to answer that now. I just want to we can figure out how we want to manage it going forward so we don't have any.
Well,
Because
since
part of this is, a lot of the work that we would have had to do was already done by TJ Eldridge in Ossipee.
Yep.
We're using documents, and then I'm noticing things like Ram is not selling us the same truck that they sold to TJ because that's not what they make.
Right, it's different now.
They're making one that has a better transmission in it now, which is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Things like, is it the right frame to mount the plow on, which was one of the problems with the 2019, but not the 18 in this one. So, all I'm bringing up now is I'm concerned about whether we should continue on the path of managing this the way we're doing, because I think there could be a communication failure. It would be, the DPW guys have to review what this paperwork is, and I don't know if we need to match it up against what TJ ordered to identify where it had to change, because the manufacturers don't do that anymore. Do you have any concerns? I'm gonna stop now and let hear what you have to say.
Okay. I really think the Dodge is a pretty simple prospect from here on out. We have a quote for the truck from the Dodge dealership. We now have a quote from HP Fairfield for the outfitting of the plow. And I did see you reaching out to the Dodge guy saying, make sure you touch bases with Michael at HP Fairfield.
Right.
Michael's only concern was that we get a single alternator, not a dual alternator, and what do you call it, the upfitting switches?
Yeah, there was a couple different things there. The alternator was one, and there was something to do.
That was it.
The frame is something you mentioned over the phone to me when I wasn't near a pen.
Yeah, there were a couple
And then the third
things.
thing I didn't catch at all, which made me concerned about the communication failures that could happen.
Right,
This sounds like this switching thing that I have no idea what you're talking
That's
about.
why I'm going to propose, because it's a very simple project, why don't we have Jeff manage that? Because all he has to do is overlook the paperwork, make sure it's really exactly what we want, and make sure that Michael from HP Fairfield is in contact with, is his name Zach? Who's the guy at Dodge? Brian, okay? I thought it was very simple. Michael just said, again, I know I'm repeating myself here, but he said, just make sure the Dodge people know that the truck needs only one alternator, not the dual alternator, and you should have upfitting switches, he called
Yeah.
them. Which just had to, Jeff, explain what upfitting switches
It
are.
has
Those
to
are just
be,
the
yeah, it has to be a
controls.
plow prep, the single alternator, and the upfitter switchers. They're just the controls for the sander, I think. Is that
Yeah,
what that
plow
is?
prep, which I think that's, the truck is, when you purchase the truck from Dodge, I believe you're getting one that's prepped.
Well,
for
you want to
plow.
ask the Dodge dealer for a plow prep package.
That's where I don't want things to
And the
fail in
single
communication.
alternator.
Okay,
So you'll stay on top of that
Yeah.
little feature? Okay.
I should give you this. This is, just to let you know, the HP Fairfield quote was a little higher than what Michael
Have
estimated.
we
but not-
scanned that?
It was emailed to us.
Okay.
I just printed it out from the email that Michael at HP Fairfield sent to us. And the total quote was $81,860. I seem to recall the Dodge truck itself was roughly around $78,000.
Yeah, I think something like
Okay.
that. The initial one, I don't know if that had these couple of little things at
Right.
it, but
But I'm gonna give this to you, but then you also need the paperwork for the Dodge. And I think the only thing is, I mean, you could talk to the guy at Dodge dealership about those 3 items too.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice if HP Fairfield and the Dodge people
Right.
talk to each other
Together.
as well.
Yeah.
thank you.
That's just HP Fairfield's quote
Yeah,
on
okay.
all the stuff we discussed when you, Tony, and I were down there.
Yeah, and it will be very important that Ram does the removal of the second alternator.
Do you remember that being
We had a
problem?
truck.
I was gonna say.
We
I
had
remember
a
this
truck
was
a number
problem
of years
It
ago
was a Ford.
that it was to the outfitting. HP removed one of the alternators.
Which is what Michael told us.
Well, that's what he
and,
said.
Why?
And when they did that, it voided the
Yeah,
warranty
it was a mess.
for the truck.
Oh, boy.
And it was a mess.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
And they have to have that out of there because they need that room for their electronics
Right.
and their
I gotcha.
their things.
Right.
So that's why they don't want that to come through that way.
And I think they put
then
the
that's
second
another
alternator-
reason.
Right. We
For the
need to
radio
make sure that
system.
happens through the
Did it use
dealership.
more power that they? I think it was because of the radio system and the electricity to operate the hydraulics of the plows, the pumps. Remember that was years ago. That
was-
it was a large
Long
number of
time
years
ago.
ago, but just knowing that we've been in this situation where
Yes.
they had to alter the
when I
truck
heard that I went,
before we
That's
bought
why
it,
Mike
I
made
went,
it pretty
uh
important
oh,
to specify
we gotta pay,
that to
Yeah,
pay
warranty.
very close attention to
Wow.
how that happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else for Jeff?
I'm just double checking the specs on the Chrysler Dodge Jeep, which we received.
For the Ram.
Yeah, for the Ram. Just wondering if there's any way of telling from all this long list of items if it's plow prepped. I'm sure it is, but I'm going to tell you what.
You've been copied on the emails between the Ram dealership and me.
Yeah.
So you know you have Brian's email address. If you,
Yeah.
I think you should just copy all of us so we can follow along. But having us a middleman between you and these guys isn't necessary anymore. I don't think.
Right.
Yep, says here, heavy duty snow plow prep group. Right there under that item. But again, you're going to
Whatever
verify
those
this
5
all.
words mean.
Yeah,
Right.
for an additional $295. That seems kind
It's
of.
the switch.
Yeah. All right. But
Jeez.
the total price he's given us is $77,050 plus the 81 whatever 40 years. All right,
We'll get this right.
right. But just to let you know, Jeff, let's see to get this. Okay. Mark sent to all of us, including the admin, on February 3rd. He forwarded the message from Brian Zips. February 3rd at, it says forward Ram 5500. Where's the time? At 5:41 p.m. So if you, Jennifer can find that for you. February 3rd, 5:41 p.m. So you can get the whole printout of that.
Yeah.
There's a couple other.
Was Jeff CC'd on that?
I think so.
DPW at V. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do have it.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Right.
You do have it. You're right.
But if I could get some paper on those, because sometimes trying to negotiate those emails through my phone.
Yeah, just come to the office.
Okay.
Tell me.
I'll come
We'll
up.
look through. It's all saved in one central folder.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. There's 3 attachments on
Yeah.
that particular. So I'd have to go through it.
Yep.
What's that?
Yeah.
I'll come up. I'll get those.
So between
those paper
Yeah.
emails.
You and Tony look
Anytime.
over that.
Yeah.
You guys make sure this is exactly what we need on it.
Right.
No more, no less.
Yeah.
And also meeting with Michael's
Yeah.
specs. Okay.
All set with Jeff?
Sounds good.
You all
Thank
set with us?
Yes.
Thanks,
Thank
Jeff.
you very much.
You got it. Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Yes. Thank you. Enjoy the sunshine while it's out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, we have it.
Take care.
So at 9:41, we move to Commissioner's Report. Once again, I've already covered cost of gravel,
Yeah.
rock salt, 80-20 splits between water and operating budget, truck purchase management, we just
Yeah.
finished,
Yeah.
FEMA accounting. The
Yeah.
only thing I have left on my list is we have reason to go to the summit as a commissioners board at some point. There's two things that are on my mind that we should look at. One is we want to inspect the inside of the Summit Pump House,
Okay.
and we also probably want to take a look at the roof, but we shouldn't do that until the snow's gone off of it.
Yeah.
Going there when there's a melt happening would be good, so it might be multiple trips to the summit based on what the outside conditions are. And if you remember, Jeff said there was something unusual happening with the pavement at the top of the S-turn.
Yes.
So it may be that we take a quick look up there to see the pavement and just do the first inspection of the pump house in the inside only.
Yeah,
Then-
look at the,
Then return when we think that the roof is actually having to deal with water on top of it. Then a final one when the roof is bare, so we can see what the roof actually looks like. It's a screw-down metal roof, and I'd like to see where the screws have popped up, just like what
Right.
happens to them. So, at some point, I'm thinking that we take a trip as a board to the summit
Yep.
and look at what Jeff talked about with the pavement at the top of the S-turn last week, and bring some LED lights and look at the inside of the summit pump station at the rafters and the insulation.
Yep.
Is one of three possible inspections we make up there during the springtime. So, we'll schedule that. We'll wait until next week to see what kind of schedule we want to take a ride up there.
Okay.
We won't do it this week, but next week.
Next week's probably gonna be tough for me, a lot of appointments,
Yeah.
but let's definitely schedule time to do that, yes.
Is there an opportunity this week that's better?
Yeah, probably.
Let's talk about Thursday
Okay,
or Friday.
we'll get to my report too.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're about
Okay.
to go to your report
Yeah,
anyway.
okay.
So you're gonna hold off on after what is report to schedule, or?
Maybe Friday. No, maybe Thursday's better. I'm sorry, just.
Mhm.
life
This
is
week's
so
not
crazy
good?
right now. This
Next
week,
week's not good. It could be the week after that.
This week
That's
could
fine.
this week could be good. Let me discuss what I want to do.
Okay. Okay, sounds fair.
Okay.
So you want to go into your commission?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I've got handouts for everybody, and this has to do with the Granite State, and then one for Jennifer. Okay. So
What does this have to do with? I'm
the
sorry.
Granite State clean,
Clean
fleet.
fleet.
Okay.
Oh, the grant.
So I want to go over what they need from us. We need to submit the next set of documentation no later than February 20th. So that is, the 20th is next week.
This is a higher priority over the summit.
That's what I'm thinking, yes, okay? So in other words, that is a week from this coming Friday. So let me show you what we got. The first one is the email, and I highlighted two of the bullet points. Well, we need 4 items. They want the certificate of insurance with NHDS as a certificate holder, so I'm not quite sure what that means. We gotta figure that out. Then they want a certificate of authorization, which they gave us an example we can use. It's a fill in the blank type thing, but it still is not as easy as fill in the blank when you take a look at all those blanks. I figured the next one's real easy, State of New Hampshire vendor number. And then there's another document that they gave us called name, title of the authorized signer of grant agreement, which is, so I gave you the authorization. It's a one pager with a lot of blanks to fill in. And then I gave the grant agreement. There's 9 pages. We all need to review that to see what they want, so that when we fill this in, we're crossing the T's and dotting the I's. They also gave us this handy dandy timeline here. Looks like this, which I also highlighted the 3 of the things that they want out of the 4. The last one I didn't highlight because that's for private entities only. Again, the signed grant agreement, they gave us a copy. Certificate of authority, that's the fill in the blanks. Certificate of insurance, including workers' comp coverage. And also, I don't know what that means, as I mentioned before, with NHDS as a certificate holder. So, anyway, what I wanted to do was get together sometime this week, where all 4 of us are sitting down, spending an hour going over this, and make sure we're all fill it into as much as we possibly can, so we can get this out next week. But I gave you all these handouts so you could review it first, especially that big long 9-page grant agreement. Okay, so which I still need to review in its entirety. So I just want to have a better understanding. We can come together, put our minds together, and figure it out, and hopefully we can get all the paperwork. Well, we will get all the paperwork needed in. If we need to call them for questions, they seem to be very responsive. That individual that I called Mac last week was Mac and Jack, but Mac turned out to be a female, not a male.
Oh, wow.
It's a good thing they didn't turn down my application. When I answered the question, I went, sirs, meaning Mac and Jack. I said, oops, one of them is not a sir. It's a man.
Yep.
So, anyway, she had no problem.
So you want to meet when?
All right.
After your book?
I can do it Thursday or Friday of this week. So I was going to say, if we sat down and did this first, and we really felt like we made a lot of good progress, even if we don't complete it 100%, because we still have another few days till next week to get it in, maybe then we could do the inspection. They do say on the timeline, though, the sooner you get this paperwork in, the sooner you'll get up toward the GNC. They're saying 8 to 10 weeks. Who knows? Maybe it'll be faster.
Well, I'm all in favor of moving this along as fast as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is why we tried to bear down on it last month.
Yeah.
right.
We don't know if we helped you or not, but
No, that was very helpful, because
we were cheerleading you.
I took a certain approach on my write-up on some of the questions, and then it occurred to me later after talking to the boys, oops, that's the wrong tact. And then I came in and Nancy was on the exact same wavelength, said, yeah, you're right, you shouldn't be doing it that way. So we did it the right way. So thank you for your help.
I'm looking at everything that has to be done, and I'm just remembering that Josh and Linda Shackford did all this.
So we could,
And I'm looking at how much the selectmen had to be involved when you get to this thing.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
9 pages.
Like I said, the one thing I have a question is, what does it mean by certificate of insurance with NHDS as a certificate holder? Have you ever seen anything like that, Nancy?
That's simply a call to Primex,
Okay.
because Primex will be insuring the new vehicle, and DES becomes a signer right up front, because they're the ones that are gonna be giving the majority of the money.
Oh,
Um,
gotcha.
So
So is it
they
to,
wanna make sure that
it's insured?
properly insured, and that should something happen, that they get their money back.
Gotcha.
You don't want a scenario where they coughed up 280,000 and then heard that the truck hit the bridge during the parade. And was
Right.
celebrating.
Yeah, yeah, they don't want that to happen.
I see.
Okay, during the touch a truck, a bunch of children ruined it. Okay. Okay. So, That's really all I have, was trying to keep this
You're
moving
gonna
along.
say a time
Oh,
Thursday?
whether Nancy has openings on
yeah.
Thursday or not.
What's your schedule looking
Yeah,
like?
Thursday's okay for me,
Afternoon?
anytime.
Okay, then I'm
1:30?
1:30, yep.
So this meeting will continue to 1:30 on Thursday?
Yes.
Yes.
All set then?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything, Nancy?
No, mostly that, there are a couple of things that we're gonna fix on the warrant.
Mhm.
And we'll get it into the DRA portal so that we are ready to sign it next week, so that it, can be posted.
Yep.
So I'll be working with Jennifer on that, making sure that everything gets set up in the DRA portal.
Do we need minutes of the budget hearing?
Yes,
How are we gonna get that done? Can they be done from the video? Cause it's just we can identify now the key points that need to go into the minutes. Basically, the two operating budgets were reviewed,
mm-hmm,
and then the warrant articles.
mm-hmm,
And the things that came out of that was, they would like to see us prepared to drop the maintenance lines on the trucks that are getting replaced if they vote to buy new trucks,
yes,
was one. Another one was they would like a short introductory presentation on FEMA,
mm-hmm,
the FEMA funding, which they were the person asking that was happy with the 40 seconds that I spent saying what it was that applies to the numbers that we're gonna be tracking now.
those were the big ones.
Yeah, those are the two issues. Other than that, it's just that we reviewed, there were no votes taken
Nope,
in the length of the meeting, which is on the video,
right,
in the reference to the video. And the attendance sheet, did that make it to the office?
Yeah,
Yes.
Jennifer has it.
Okay. So we'll approve those minutes next week?
yeah.
All set with commissioners' reports? On the water system, since last meeting, we got a quote from the Burnham Company on the Como PRV. I'll copy you on an email that I'll send to Ian, asking him for if he has any information on what kind of 2-inch water line is coming down from St. Moritz into the existing Como PRV. Bernie would like to know that because when he does the PRV construction, he's going to be connecting onto that. Knowing what it is really helps in knowing what he needs to attach to it, because it can be different things, like Blue Brood is different from the Schedule 40 that we used to find in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Ian has a good idea of what it was. If he remembers, when we did the Oak Ridge Road pavement project, they dug up the water main as it intersects with St. Moritz. Do you remember that there was a cavern where the main, it was a puzzle, and they figured out that it was a bag of calcium chloride that they put on top of the pipe before that had disintegrated and left
Yep.
left
Left
this
all this
strange,
weird stuff.
it was a white powder
We just
and
weren't sure what it was, and we stayed away from it because
You didn't know
it
what
was scary. We didn't know what it was.
Anthrax.
Yeah.
So anyway, Ian had to have seen the pipe because they actually upgraded that connection at that intersection.
Mhm.
So
It also comes from Chicora, down St. Moritz, to the Como PRV.
I'd like to, do you think it shows that on the water maps that were drawn as part of the asset management, what's the name of it? Horizon? The Horizon maps?
I would hope so.
Because I'm not sure about that, because it's different pressure zones. It may not be. That I can ask Ian that question too.
Yeah.
So that's something about the water system. The other thing I want to do is ask, coordinating Ian to do the reinstallation of the water hookup to the Lugano house. Has to be coordinated so that the rock hammering is done immediately, followed by simply water coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a trick as to, I'm gonna start with asking Ian what he would like to have as a start schedule for him to come in. In other words, when in the spring or the summer. Because then I have to already have, or we have to have, Black Dog
Ready to
scheduled
do
to come
the-
in and
Yep.
hammer the heck out of that road and get all the rock, and maybe more rock than needs to come out than just for the water project. But then he has to clear out of there
Right,
with the debris rock out of there. And then Ian has to come in with his crew and put the new connection into the first house on Lugano.
right.
And then we have to have a plan to seal up the road.
Will that be our crew or one of the?
Well, when there's enough road showing from the winter melt, we'll have to walk it with the highway department and see where we see spider web evidence of boulders coming up above where we need to
Mhm.
handle for the water main project, and how much of that we want to take out. Therefore, how much road construction we have to do afterwards to put it all back together again after Ian's done.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want to leave that road.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be patched up fairly
It'd be nice if it was bing, bang, boom, and we were out of there, but
Yeah. Never,
it's usually
never works that
boom,
way.
boom, boom.
With a few hiccups in between those booms.
Exactly. Best laid plans. And then there's the weather.
Yep,
So those are the things that we need to plan for water today,
yep.
along with our trip to the summit, which we'll do when we can. Scheduled appearance, I see none. Administrators report, there's nothing listed here. Old business tabled items, we have none. Signature items, it says request for absence, is a request for vacation time?
Yep.
Okay. So I'll make a motion that we approve 2 vacation days for Jennifer in March.
Second.
Any discussion on this? How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0.
Since it's on a Monday and Tuesday, so I guess we'll hold a commissioners meeting on a Wednesday that week?
Yeah, those haven't been scheduled yet.
No, I know
so-
that, I understand, but that was,
So those will be scheduled appropriately without a vote?
Correct.
We don't need a vote to do that. 'cause
Right.
oh, so you get St. Patrick's Day off.
Ha! I didn't even think about that.
I thought that was the occasion.
No.
I assumed it was a quick trip to Ireland.
That would be nice. Be a lot of Guinness drinking.
Okay, so that's done. That was done at 9:59.
Mm-hmm.
And we go to correspondence, I see none. The weekly question gets put to Bob as to whether he has any public comments.
I do not today, thank you.
Then we move to non-agenda items, which we have none.
Mm-mm.
So I'll make a motion that we go into non-public session.
Mm-hmm.
That needs a second.
Second.
And that's a roll call vote. How do you vote,
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
I vote aye. That's 3-0 on non-public session. We're going to recess the public session
Yep.
after the non-public session to a meeting at 1:30 on Thursday to work on the Clean Fleet
Yes.
application.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, Evan.